Good afternoon, traders. My name is Tomasz Wiśniewski. I'm a Chief Analyst in Raport Research and Analysis, and this is daily analytical report. So during 30 minutes, I will tell you what's going on the markets. We'll analyze market from the technical and from the fundamental point of view. Unfortunately, today the calendar is almost empty. We do not have any significant market movers. From the fundamental point of view, it's completely quiet, so today we will focus mostly on the fundamentals. But let me show you that even if you know that the market won't be busy, and you know that because we were telling that on a Friday when we are showing the calendar for this week. Even if you know that, it would be nice to check the calendar anyway. And as you can see, note here one data, just housing price index, retail sales for Canada. So Canadian dollar should be influenced in 29 minutes, but it won't be anything significant. We had a CEF survey from Germany. Economic sentiment worse than expected, current situation better than expected, the same in Eurozone, worse than expected, a bit mixed data, but in general Euros going much lower. So that's from the fundamental point of view. As you can see, not much is happening. We had an OPEC meeting recently. They didn't agree for any more cuts, so that is why oil went significantly lower, but I will show you that when we will analyze the situation from the technical point of view. So we will start with the cable. Cable is visiting very interesting place right now. After reaching that high, we started a downswing with three very interesting trend continuation patterns. First we had a small wedge, then we had this rectangle, we had two rectangles, then after a breakout we had, well, that was almost a rectangle, a flag. It doesn't really matter, to be honest with you, if we will call it a flag or a rectangle, because both of them are trend continuation patterns. Right, so cable from the technical point of view is behaving great recently, since the beginning of August, and hopefully it will remain that. Cable will keep this situation up, so will continue to behave very technically, because currently we are above a very important horizontal support. The support is created by three different factors. First factor is 38.2 Fibonacci level, retracement of this uptrend, which started at the beginning of the year. Right, 38.2 should be important, especially that 23.6 was important. Also, what do we have here? We do have a combination of support and resistance level from the recent price swings. As you can see, it was a support at the end of April, it was a support at the end of May, at the beginning of, after the breakout it was a resistance in the middle of June, then it was a support in July, and also apart from 38.2, apart from this horizontal level, we do have a correction equality pattern, potential correction equality pattern, which is not always working, right? Does not always work, but when it works it can give you a nice profits, and it's just an additional thing here. So there was a correction of 465 pips, and potentially this correction can be the same. So far we made 457 pips, so almost the same. As you can see, it's this support is rather wide area, something like that, where the bounce can happen. And actually we had the first contact with this support, where we can see a bullish reaction, but I don't think it's this. Maybe we'll have a second try, like a double bottom formation or inverse head and shoulder formation. That would be a pity if we would have only one contact here. It would be much better to see a different pattern. Let me mark also a horizontal resistance here. So what's the situation in general? We are reaching very important support. If on this support we will see a bullish price action, sentiment will be bullish, right? If we'll see a breakout, obviously no bullish sentiment, but a signal to sell. Next one is S&P 500, which reached the support from the beginning of the year, uptrend, upwave from the beginning of the year. So that's pretty important support. As you can see, we broke the lower line of the channel up formation. So this channel up formation is no longer there. It's no longer relevant. But the uptrend line is, because the uptrend line resulted with also, let me copy that if that will be possible. Those lines are not parallel, but something like that. We reached this uptrend line. The price created a hammer on a daily chart here, which is definitely a bullish sign. Also, apart from hammer, it will be visible better on H4. What we had here was this horizontal support created by this resistance, support, 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 right? So we use this, we marked this yellow rectangle recently, last week, you remember that, where we marked a place with a possible area for a reversal, for a bounce, and it actually happened. We will see if it will be sustainable. First potential target for this one is here. Next one is there, and the next one is there. Alright, so we have 3 potential targets. The first one, I don't think it will be too strong, because it was not, well, it was a little bit respected here and here, as you can see, two tails, but in general it wasn't so much respected. The second one was still, and the third one was probably too. So to wrap that up, hammer bouncing of a long-term uptrend line in an uptrend is a positive sign. I'm not a fan of going long on indexes. I think we are in a bubble, but I'm just telling you that from the technical point of view, right? I have to be fair. And the thing is that when you're a trader, you should trade what the price is telling you, not your feelings, or, well, that's at least my approach. I try to limit my feelings about the movements to the minimum. And I try to be as open-minded as possible and take just signals from the market. If the price will tell me that I should go long, even despite the fact that we are on all-time highs, that will mean that we have to go long. Okay, simple as that. That's my approach for trading. And the next one is gold. That's an interesting one, and as you can see in the first 3 instruments, we touched a little bit of currencies. We touched commodities and and indexes. Gold, I think you heard about that, because that was quite a big story on Friday. Because on Friday we broke those highs from April and June, and we touched $1,300 per ounce, which was anticipated by us. We talked about that many times. We reached those highs from the elections in US, which is here, and the price fell heavily, right? The price was rejected big time. As you can see, we do have a shooting star, So a bearish candle with a small body on bottom and a long tail. And if a shooting star happens on a strong resistance like that, because it is, no doubts about that, it is, it's usually a very bearish sign. But the price did not fall sharply on Monday. That was daily close on Friday at the very low of the day. We closed here, but on Monday we climbed higher, which was that was kind of a surprise. Today we are lower again, but the thing is that the traders did not abandon gold. That's kind of interesting, at least for me. So what do we have here? This is the shooting star in lower time frame. So what do we have here is the left shoulder, head, and the right shoulder. So we do have a head and shoulder pattern bouncing over horizontal resistance. For the head and shoulder pattern, to be activated, we need to see a breakout of a neckline. In this case, neckline is this green horizontal support. So far we are above the neckline, so there's no sell signal here. And sell signal will not be activated soon. We do have another support here. Maybe a different color, maybe black. And most probably the price, if they will test support, they will go somewhere here. And as long as we stay above this combination of those three, the sentiment is still positive, and we should expect another try to break $1,300 per ounce, because it does not look so bad. It looks even bad. It was looking even better on Monday, when the price did not fall sharply after that strong downswing on Friday. American dollar to Canadian dollar. This pair should be influenced in 17 minutes. But in general, we are, from the technical point of view, we are expecting a downswing. Why is that? Because we are in a downtrend. The price was corrected 3 times with this, well, let's say, rectangle or a wedge, with this flag and with this flag here. This flag allowed to retrace 23.6% of this downtrend. Price created double top or even head and shoulder formation and broke the lower line of the flag. In case of the head and shoulder formation, we don't have to wait for breakout of the neckline, because it's different head and shoulder, so it's the neckline is declined, not inclined, which makes it harder. But I think that the breakout just of a lower line of the flag should be enough. It's significantly enough for the price to go lower. So in my opinion, on American dollar to Canadian dollar, there is a legitimate sell signal. Euro to Japanese yen, that was also interesting, because, and we wrote about that in analysis yesterday, because what is happening here is the price is having a head and shoulder pattern, left shoulder, head, and a right shoulder, which you can see a little bit better on H4 chart. But here also the neckline is defended. It's also, well, it's at the same time this dynamic support here marked with red color, and this horizontal one with a green color. And I would say that as long as we stay above the red support, the 23.6, and a green area, the sentiment is still positive. And the breakout here should be dangerous and should drag price at least 140 pips lower. But chances for that are kind of limited at the moment. Why is that? Because of those two hammers on the daily chart. Maybe this one is not hammer, it's a pin bar, because we have the head is a little bit too big, but in general long tail on a horizontal support and on a dynamic support can be perceived as a bullish sign. American dollar to Swiss franc, we had a bearish candle, the next one overlapped that entirely. That was a bullish engulfing. It was a few weeks ago, and after that the price went higher for 3 weeks, went lower as well, but in general one could make profit for 3 weeks, and now we're trying to recover. But I said last week that this buy signal is on hold right now. It's not the best thing to go long in this kind of price action. So after such a strong candlestick pattern, and the candlestick pattern which happens on a horizontal supports, in general the price should climb higher. Australian dollar to American dollar, after the breakout from this flag formation and defending it as a support, well, in general the sentiment is positive, even despite the fact that we had a drop today, but the sentiment is positive in my opinion, as long as we stay above the blue dynamic support here. And for that support we do have 40 pips, still 40 pips. And there is this next one, this horizontal one. American dollar to Mexican peso, it was, well, that pair was fighting to break that downtrend line almost for whole month or whole August. Finally, well, we got this bullish engulfing, but as you can see it didn't work as well. The price went higher but got rejected, this trend line got rejected, and now we are aiming lower again. And actually, as you can see, we are very close to the lowest levels in August. Making the new low in August should drag us to the lowest level since July. So after the bounce from the long-term downtrend line, the sentiment on this pair is negative. American dollar to Japanese yen is fighting on this horizontal support. We marked that X for a place where you could sell. There was no breakout here. There were breakout attempts, but none of the candles closed below this horizontal support, so we can move our X lower, and actually we can adjust the support here. We can remove the Fibos, and yes, that will be much better. So as long as the blue support is defended, the sentiment stays positive. Well, positive, no, there is no long buy signal here whatsoever, but in my opinion there is no sell signal here either. Sell signal will be activated only when the price will break the blue support. Euro to American dollar went higher, broke the upper line of the flag, and we expected that. It happened yesterday. We wrote an analysis in the morning, and it happened later during the European session. but also at the same time we wrote about this horizontal resistance, and it worked. That was a beautiful resistance and a beautiful bearish price action here. So yesterday we made 100 pips, but after this resistance was met, the price instantly went down. Now they're trying to come back above the flag, upper line of the flag. In my opinion, as long as we stay above this pink support here, this horizontal one, the sentiment is still positive. And even despite the fact that we had a strong drop today, the sentiment is still positive. Maybe now there's no clear buy signal yet, but we're not far from creating one. And we discussed gold, so it's time for silver now. Silver, which also on Friday made new significant lows, but it wasn't so significant as gold, because if we would compare silver and gold, silver should be somewhere here, but they are not. Here is the candle from the elections, so we are much lower. We didn't break the trend line, we didn't break this horizontal resistance. On gold, we broke the trend line, this one, because blue one is the long-term one. We broke this one, we tested this horizontal resistance. On silver, we didn't break this, we didn't test this, so we are much lower, but we are above $16.8 per ounce, which is a nemesis for silver. So a level very important, and it was support resistance for many times, and it's in play one more time. We should expect that this level will be respected in the nearest future. Euro to Australian dollar, there was a nice buy signal here, but it became a false breakout. The price bounced off the first horizontal resistance. Actually, there's no clear trading signal here, but I will keep eye on this pair for and I will look for more trading signals. British pound to Japanese yen, no trading signal here as well. They wasted the chance for an investment shoulder formation, and the price bounced off a neckline, and traders saw that, right? If the price does not want to go up, if the price is not using a nice reversal pattern, time to reverse then. New Zealand dollar to Japanese yen is having a kind of a sideways trend. It's no longer inverse head and shoulder pattern. It's more or less of like a symmetric triangle with a breakout of the lower line of this triangle. Maybe let me delete this and draw that one. So we are having a symmetric triangle, breakout of the lower line of the triangle, which makes it a sell signal. But we bounced off this horizontal support, and there will be a sell signal once the price will get to this X. So that's a good one. If you're looking for a decent trading occasion, I think that the breakout here should lead us at least to the uptrend line. So we're talking about 60 pips here. I think we can remove this Fibonacci for a better visibility. This one too we can remove. This one as well we can remove. This one. Trend line not, but Fibonacci, I think yes. Okay, looks better. So downswing, symmetric triangle, which in this case is apparently a trend continuation pattern, and a further downswing. American dollar to Chinese yuan, trying to make a double bottom formation, but I think that the test of this horizontal support will happen soon. That's 38.2 of a long-term uptrend, so pretty significant support. That's why we made this rectangle here as a combination of the lower line of this formation, but it's no longer in play. It was here and here, but with the new lows it has to go lower. So you can see that the crossing of those supports is somewhere here. And then this blue rectangle one should wait for a bullish price action. American dollar to Polish zloty is so not interesting for the last few weeks, as we're having a sideways trend. So the price is not moving from 362, 363, 364, stays in the same time, in the same place. I was waiting for the price to test this horizontal resistance, but there is no willingness to do so. So I will keep my eye on this pair and wait for that. Recent strength of the American dollar could be seen here. The price broke the lower line of the flag, and this dollar index pattern broke lower line of the flag, and then went inside, came back inside, and now the price is creating a shooting star. Actually, there is no clear trading signal yet, apart from the fact that we can draw a new support here for the dollar index. And oil, that's an interesting one, because we had a huge upswing on Friday, which met a local support, 50% Fibo, but also a support of from the beginning of August. After the price touched that resistance, we moved significantly lower, and now the price is declining, mostly because of the fundamental stuff, because we didn't reach any agreement from OPEC. There's no agree for further cuts. The price being below 47.10, which is this horizontal support, which is 38.2 Fibonacci level, that will be a strong sell signal. We wrote here that the perspective for the oil is negative, and then the price went significantly higher, but we are talking about the midterm, not the 1 day, 2 days price fluctuations, right? So when we're talking about oil, when I'm talking mostly about most of the instruments, I'm referring to the midterm situation, because that's the time frame that I'm trading on. I'm a swing trader. DAX is using this bounce from United States and is trying to recover. On a daily chart, we had 3 negative days. Well, this one can be considered as positive, but the price was making lower highs and lower lows, but opened lower and closed higher. That is why the body is positive. But in general, for the last 4 trading days, the price was making higher, lower lows and lower highs. So we can say that the price was declining, and after that, we do have a correction here. We do have a horizontal support here, and a breakout of the upper line of the wedge should not fix that. It's not all. I think that the price should first break this horizontal resistance here for a buy signal. So on S&P 500, we may have a buy signal. But on DAX, no way for a buy signal. Okay, we got the data from American dollar and more important for Canadian dollar, and Canadian dollar is stronger, so probably the data was better. We are making just new weekly lows. Well, it's Tuesday, so it's not so hard, but in general the price is moving this way. That was expected by us in our analysis. Thanks very much for watching daily analytical report. Now should break half an hour, and then another webinar with Alpari. If you're looking for more trading information and trading setups, you have to visit our Twitter account and our website alpari.news. Thanks very much and goodbye.